Howdy heckin' hey my dudes, how are y'all doing? Good, I'm great. Let's get on with today's video. Real quick before anything else, follow me on Instagram for my art, follow me on Twitter for my innermost random thoughts, and follow me on Twitch where I stream every Thursday. Video games though, we do gaming on Twitch. Alright, onto the video. So originally this video was going to be my first impressions on Lovesick, also formerly known as Love Letter, and its developer Dr. Apis. Not addressing any of Yandere devs or Dr. Apis' drama, just focusing on the content of both video games, as I used to be a fan of Yandere Simulator, and Love Letter is like Yandere Simulator's coding but on steroids. But in all honesty, I'm actually glad I waited to formulate my opinion because holy shit, so much has come out. And before I talk about this, I just want to say that I find it really unfortunate that both of these games are surrounded by so much drama and serious allegations. It sucks that both games have such an interesting concept, but that's not what's bringing people in. It's the allegations surrounding the people working on the game. That being said, these allegations can get quite serious, and they should definitely be discussed. I'm not downplaying the situation surrounding the games, I just wish that these games weren't surrounded by so much drama because they're such genuinely interesting concepts and stuff to work with and develop with, but that's not what's drawing people in, and it's really unfortunate. So I'm sure by this point that most of the people watching this video already know about Yandere Simulator and Love Letter and their respective developers Yandere Dev and Dr. Apis, but here's just a little bit of fundamental facts that I feel like people need to know regarding both developers. Alex Mahan, aka Eva Zephon, aka Yandere Dev, has been working on his game Yandere Simulator for 6 years, and the game itself still doesn't have a playable demo. These days, it's speculated that he spends more time streaming than coding, and when he does actually code, it's usually useless Easter eggs, not to mention that the code itself is hot garbage. There are several other in-depth videos about Alex's life pre-Yandere Simulator and all the allegations and stuff that was surrounding him, but for this video, that's all you really need to know about Yandere Dev. Dr. Apis, aka Narwhal is Falling, is the developer of Yandere Simulator's newest and strongest competitor, Lovesick, which has now officially been rebranded as Love Letter My True Feelings. He was almost completely able to catch up with Yandere Dev's 6-year progress within the span of 2 weeks, and because of this, people quickly began to flock to Love Letter for better or worse. Yandere Dev's perspective on the situation is that Love Letter is not actually a recreation of Yandere Simulator from scratch, and believes that Dr. Apis simply stripped Yandere Simulator's assets to make a prototype. Now, this has already been debunked as not true, and even if it was true, Dr. Apis is currently replacing all of the assets for Love Letter. But lest we forget that that's where Alex himself started, taking assets from other people, both Unity bought and stolen, and creating a prototype for Yandere Simulator. I smell a little bit of hypocrisy there, Yandere Dev, eh? Alright, anyway, back on to Dr. Apis. Dr. Apis has recently had his own drama, along with some serious allegations of sexual harassment in the volunteer server, which I won't go into details about, but there's several Twitter threads about the situation, which I'll link in the description if I can find, because they're very serious allegations, and I feel like that this is something that definitely needs to be discussed about Love Letter's volunteer team. Dr. Apis has also recently confirmed that he is also the alias Narwhal is Falling, which is an alias tied to another Yandere Simulator fan game that failed. And it's been pointed out that several things that Dr. Apis has been called out for are things that Yandere Dev himself has also been called out for, confusing people on where they stand in relation to Love Letter and Yandere Simulator. So that's just a little bit of very, very basic fundamental information on both of the developers. And another thing that I want to bring up is how both developers handle their own respective situations and drama, because that does tie into the point that I want to make, and I think it's very interesting to see just how differently they're handling similar, if not the same, situation. Yandere Dev is notorious for giving too much attention to the situation he's in and being unable to take criticism, focusing on that rather than the game itself. Dr. Apis also publicly addresses the situations he finds himself in, but for the most part he focuses on game development, only making small, brief announcements which are immediately followed by him saying that he's currently working on the game and he's excited to show what he's done. Respect for Dr. Apis for doing this during the Narwhal is Falling situation, as I believe if he wanted to stray away from that alias and create a completely new thing for Love Letter, then he had every right to do so. I just wish he was a bit more honest about it from the start, but the fact that he addressed it and was like, yes, that's me, also I'm still working on the game, we're still doing all of this, I found respectful. What I don't find respectful is the fact that he also did that exact same thing to the sexual harassment situation, because I feel like that's something that you shouldn't kind of just really quickly address and then in the same breath be like, oh, I'm also still working on the game, progress is being made and stuff like that. That should have had its own specific time. Like, you should have taken yourself away from the game to properly address that. But for the most part, the way he addresses the drama and the serious situations is fine. Now, I know what you're all probably wondering at this point. If I'm not talking about the drama between Dr. Apis and Yandere Dev, then what piqued my interest? Why am I bringing any of this up? Well, I want to talk about how Love Letter could actually help Yandere Simulator's progress. We know Yandere Dev thinks very highly of himself and his game, to a point where he goes to extreme lengths to silence anyone who thinks they can make a better game. He did this with Watashi no Mono, and he's tried to do it with Love Letter. Key word in that sentence being tried. While Love Letter has definitely had its own controversies with both the sexual harassment allegations, the narwhals falling situation, and even some copyright issues when an artist left the team, nothing has stopped the team or Dr. Apis from continuing development and having unique models, branding, and promoting, and so on. They're very, very busy people when it comes to Love Letter. Dr. Apis may have a lot of skeletons in the closet, and there may be some situations with his volunteer server that he's not handling properly, but you simply can't deny this man's work ethic. And so, how did Yandere Dev respond to this after his scare tactics didn't work? Well, it looks like he's actually coding now. Once Yandere Dev regained access to the official Yandere Simulator subreddit, one of his first posts was a blurred photo showing work-in-progress designs for the new Yandere Simulator models. Now, I don't have access to the subreddit, and I can't find the video where I got this information from in the first place, so if I'm incorrect on this, please let me know. But it seems like this is a genuine attempt to progress the game. But, okay. So he revealed that they're working on new models. Big whoop. What else is he doing? Well, it looks like he's finally about to release Osana. Okay, so Osana isn't in the game yet, and we all know that Alex spends more time adding Easter eggs than working on Osana when he codes. But on the official Yandere Simulator blog, Yandere Dev has made a publicly accessible Trello page where anyone can see Osana's progress, and if this list is to be believed, you can see that he's almost completely finished with Osana, aside from some final testing without debug commands and a cutscene between Senpai and the second rival. None of this changes what Yandere Dev has said or done in the past, and this video isn't me trying to defend any of those past actions. I'm simply pointing out that Love Letter's rise to success and praise, and the fact that it's currently Yandere Simulator's strongest and only competitor, could have been exactly what Alex needed to further the progress of Yandere Simulator. Previously, Yandere Dev had a monopoly over games like Yandere Simulator. Other similar games didn't have nearly as much attention or hype, and when they did get a lot of attention, Yandere Dev was able to silence them. With that kind of power over a genre, Yandere Dev most likely believed that he could work at whatever pace he wanted and still have a solid amount of supporters, even with all of the hate that he and Yandere Simulator are getting recently. But now, with Love Letter steamrolling along and beginning to surpass Yandere Simulator's development in such a short amount of time, Yandere Dev doesn't really have the luxury to work at his own pace anymore if he wants to stay relevant. So who knows? Maybe Osana actually will come out before Love Letter's first rival. Only time will tell at this point. I'm really glad that Dr. Apis didn't back down when Yandere Dev talked to him and had that discussion and the whole attempted suicide thing happened. And even with serious allegations surrounding both of the developers, I'm excited to see where Love Letter goes and where Love Letter will push Yandere Simulator to go. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the whole Yandere Simulator and Love Letter situation. Like I said, I think it's really good that there's competition in this type of genre now, because when Yandere Simulator had the monopoly over it, it just kind of felt empty, because he was like, oh, well, I'm on top, so I can take as much time as I need. But now that Love Letter is out, Yandere Simulator really needs to up its game and up its quality for once to stay relevant anymore. So tell me, what did you guys think? Do you support Love Letter? Do you support Yandere Simulator? Do you not care for either? Do you support both? And tell me what you think about the drama surrounding both developers. Do you think Yandere Dev deserves all of the hate and disrespect that he's gotten for stuff that he's done so far in his past? Do you think Dr. Apis should have been way more honest, and if he lied about narwhals falling, then feel insecure about what he's actually lying about? Do you think the drama is good for the games? Do you think the drama is bad for the games? Let me know what you guys think. I've been following Yandere Simulator since it started its development. I kind of dropped out of it a few years ago because I realized the kind of person that Alex was. But that being said, I am still excited for Yandere Simulator. I'm definitely excited for Love Letter. And yeah, that's just my opinion. Tell me what yours is. Please try and be respectful in the comments. I won't respond to any hateful, negative, or targeted comments towards either Yandere Dev or Dr. Apis, so just keep that in mind when you're sharing your opinions. That being said, remember Instagram for my art, Twitter for my random thoughts, Twitch for some gaming streams. Stay warm, stay cozy, stay toasty. If you sneeze during the stream, I'll bless you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, everybody!